Let me start by saying this. If you're here watching this video, it's not a coincidence. You've been searching for answers, for signs, for meaning. And yet, the more you search, the more elusive the answers seem. But here's the truth: you've been searching in the wrong place. The sign you've been waiting for, the one that will confirm everything you felt deep within, is not something you'll find outside of yourself. It's not in the books, the gurus, or even the spiritual practices you've been obsessively following. No, the rare sign that you, as a chosen one, have been waiting for is already within you. But I'm not here to tell you something you've heard 1,000 times before. I'm here to help you understand why you've been missing it and how to finally recognize it. You see, as a chosen one, you've always felt different. Maybe you've felt out of place, like you don't quite fit into the world around you. Maybe you've been searching for people who resonate with your energy, who truly understand the depth of your soul. But here's the thing: your uniqueness is not a problem that needs fixing. It's not something to hide or downplay. It's a gift. And the reason you've been feeling disconnected from the world is because your path is not meant to look like everyone else's. You are part of the 1%, that rare group of souls who have a unique purpose, a mission that is beyond the ordinary. But that comes with a challenge. It means that the signs meant for you are not the same ones that others receive. You've been waiting for a sign that's as extraordinary as you are, and that's why you feel like it hasn't come yet. But here's the deep truth I want you to really let sink in. The sign you've been waiting for is the feeling of discomfort, of not fitting in, of searching endlessly. It's not a sign of something being wrong. It's the rare sign that you are exactly where you need to be. And let that settle for a moment. The very fact that you've been searching and feeling lost is the confirmation that you are on the chosen path. The discomfort is not something to escape from, it's something to embrace. It's the universe's way of telling you that you are not here to follow the crowd. You are here to carve out your own path, to do the work that only you can do.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
So why does it feel so hard? Why does the search feel endless? Because as a chosen one, your journey is not meant to be easy. It's meant to challenge you. It's meant to push you to your limits, to break down the illusions you've been holding onto. The reason it feels like you've been waiting forever for that one rare sign is because you've been expecting it to come in a way that's familiar, in a way that makes sense based on what you've seen others experience. But your journey is different. Your signs are different. They come in the form of challenges, of isolation, of moments that force you to look within yourself for the answers rather than seeking them outside. Let me ask you something. What if the very thing you've been resisting, the loneliness, the confusion, the struggle, is the sign you've been waiting for? What if the universe is trying to show you that the answers don't lie in the external world, but in the depths of your own being? The 1% rare sign you've been waiting for doesn't come with flashing lights or obvious confirmations. It comes in the form of subtle but powerful inner knowing. And the only way to recognize it is to stop searching outside of yourself and begin to trust what you've always known deep down, that you are different for a reason, and that reason is your power. Now, let's go deeper. You might be thinking, okay, if the discomfort is the sign, how do I work with it? How do I stop searching and start recognizing what's already within me? The answer lies in how you approach discomfort. Most people run from it. They see it as something negative, something to avoid at all costs. But as a chosen one, your relationship with discomfort needs to change. Discomfort is your guide. It's the signal that you are moving in the right direction, even when it feels like you're completely lost. I think about the times in your life when things felt the hardest, when you were at your lowest, when nothing seemed to be going your way. Those moments, as painful as they were the turning points. They were the moments that forced you to dig deep, to find strength you didn't know you had, to realize that the power to transform your life was within you all along? What if you started seeing discomfort as a signpost rather than a roadblock? What if every time you felt like giving up, it was actually the universe's way of saying, "You're almost there, keep going"? You see, the rare sign you've been waiting for is not going to show up when you're feeling comfortable. It's not going to appear when everything in your life is going perfectly. No, the sign comes when you're being tested, when life is pushing you to your breaking point. Why? Because that's when you're forced to let go of the old, to shed the layers of conditioning that have been holding you back. That's when you have no choice but to trust yourself, to listen to that quiet voice within that's been guiding you all along. Let me ask you this. Have you been ignoring that voice? Have you been so focused on finding a sign outside of yourself that you've been missing the signs that have been right in front of you all along? Every time you felt like you didn't belong, every time you've questioned why your path seems so much harder than everyone else's, that's a sign. That was the universe trying to get your attention, trying to wake you up to the fact that you are not here to live an ordinary life. Now, let's talk about how to recognize this rare sign in your day-to-day life. It's not going to come in some grand, obvious way. It's going to come in the form of small but powerful moments of clarity. It's that feeling you get when something just clicks, when you suddenly understand why things had to happen the way they did. It's that moment when, in the midst of your struggle, you feel a sense of peace, a knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Have you ever had those moments? Moments where, even though everything seems to be falling apart, you feel this deep, unshakable sense that you're on the right path. That's the rare sign. That's the confirmation you've been waiting for. But here's the thing, you have to be willing to pay attention. Or do you have to stop searching for something outside of yourself and start trusting what you already know? The more you search, the more you push the sign away. But when you stop, when you surrender to the present moment and trust that everything is happening for your highest good, that's when the sign reveals itself. By now, you might be starting to realize that the search itself has been the obstacle. The more you've searched for the sign, the more elusive it's become. But there's a reason for that. The universe doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to alignment. And alignment comes from surrender. What does it mean to surrender? It doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean resigning yourself to a life of confusion and struggle. It means letting go of the need to control, to force things to happen in a certain way. The rare sign you've been waiting for will only reveal itself when you stop trying to make it happen. It will come in a moment of stillness, a moment when you've let go of the need to search, and instead trust that the universe is guiding you exactly where you need to go. Have you been trying to control the outcome of your life? Have you been so focused on finding the sign that you've missed the beauty of the journey itself? Here's the truth. The journey is the sign. Every step you've taken, every challenge you've faced, every moment of doubt, it's all been leading you to this point. The rare sign is not a single moment or event. It's the culmination of everything you've been through, everything you've learned. It's the realization that you don't need a sign at all, because you've had the power within you all along. So, how do you surrender? How do you let go of the search and trust that everything is unfolding as it should? It starts with presence. It starts with letting go of the need to know what's going to happen next, and instead focusing on the present moment. What is the universe trying to teach you right now, in this moment? What lessons are you being asked to learn? When you stop searching for the sign and start paying attention to what's happening in your life right now, that's when the sign will reveal itself. So, here we are. You've been waiting, searching, hoping for that 1% rare sign, the one that would confirm everything you felt inside, the one that would finally make sense of your journey. And now, I'm going to tell you something that might surprise you. the sign is already here. It's been here all along. But the reason you haven't recognized it is because you've been looking for something external, something flashy or dramatic, when the truth is much more profound. The rare sign you've been waiting for isn't an event that suddenly changes your life overnight. It's not a moment where the skies open up and everything becomes clear. No, that's not how this works. The rare sign is a subtle, yet powerful realization that unfolds over time. It's the understanding that every single step of your journey, every struggle, every doubt, every moment of confusion has been part of the sign itself. The sign is the journey. Think about it. Every time you've felt lost, every time you've questioned your path, every time you've struggled to make sense of why things happened the way they did, that was the sign. The challenges you've faced weren't obstacles, they were guideposts. They were pushing you to dig deeper, to look within yourself, to develop the strength and wisdom you need for the next phase of your journey. The sign was never something to be found, it was always something to be understood. But here's the thing, you have to stop searching to recognize it. As long as you're frantically seeking signs outside of yourself, as long as you're waiting for some external confirmation that you're on the right path, you'll miss what's already been given to you. The rare sign doesn't come when you're desperate to find it. It comes when you finally stop, breathe deeply, and trust that everything you've been through has been leading you to this exact moment. Let me ask you this. Can you look back on your journey and see how every challenge taught you something invaluable? Or can you see how every setback was actually preparing you for what's to come? That's the rare sign. It's the realization that nothing was random, nothing was wasted. Everything had a purpose, even when you didn't understand it at the time. The rare sign you've been waiting for is the understanding that you are exactly where you need to be, and you always have been. Now, let's talk about how to truly recognize this sign in your life right now. It's not going to come with fanfare or a big revelation. It's going to come in quiet moments when you least expect it. It's going to come in a moment of stillness when you stop trying to force things to happen and simply allow life to unfold. Have you ever had a moment where, despite the chaos around you, you felt a deep sense of peace? That's the sign. It's the universe telling you that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, even if you can't see the full picture yet. The rare sign is also in the small, but powerful, moments of clarity you've already experienced. You think back to times when something clicked for you, when you suddenly understood why things had to happen the way they did. Those moments of insight, those flashes of understanding, that's the sign. And the more you start to pay attention to those moments, the more you'll realize that the sign has been with you all along. But here's the most important part. You don't need to keep waiting for the sign, because you don't need it at all. The sign was never about giving you permission to move forward. It was never about telling you what you already know deep down, that you are on the right path. You've always had the answers within you. You've always known at some level that you are part of the 1%, the chosen ones who are here to do something extraordinary. The sign is simply a reminder of that truth. So, stop searching. Stop waiting for the universe to give you something you already have. The rare sign you've been waiting for is the realization that you don't need a sign at all. God said the power, the wisdom, the guidance within you all along. Every step of your journey has been leading you to this moment, to this realization. The rare sign is not something external, it's the deep, unshakable knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you need to be doing. Now let me ask you one final question. Can you trust that the sign is already here? Can you let go of the need to search and simply embrace the journey you're already on? Because the moment you do, that's when the sign will reveal itself not as something external, but as the recognition of your own inner power and purpose.